Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, the Faithful Community Realtor, and this is The Path, where we promote businesses, talk about the journey, and allow you to give your testimony. We are currently accepting sponsors. Sponsors out there, let me know. Lending companies, other realtors, let me know. Please contact me at LAROB at gmail.com. LAROB at gmail.com to discuss benefit packages. All right, today on The Path, we have a special guest. I think I say that every time, but this individual, we ran into each other a long time ago, a couple years ago, and we'll talk about that situation, which is kind of funny to me. And we became, good friends, good associates, and every time we talk, we always just talk forever and talk about life, politics, all the above. This individual today I got on the show, big time car salesman, been in the business over 10 years, started as a young man, which a lot of people don't know. The car business is, if you get in there early, you can become successful and do a lot of things in your life. Mr. Tyler Bolden, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, brother. I appreciate you having me on. It means a lot.
It sounds like you got some experience with podcasts.
Yeah, I listen to them, very informative. I'm always trying to grow intellectually and spiritually and just trying to learn my craft and other crafts as well.
What's going on with you right now?
Right now, I'm in the car business still. We're recovering from Hurricane Ian. Just trying to learn how to navigate a change in life we weren't prepared for. And just being sympathetic to people and learning and still growing and adapting, that's all.
Absolutely. So I love to talk about business first. And only business I know that you have is the car business. So do you want to give them your information? How can they contact you? Because I'm pretty sure people want to know, I want to go work with that guy. Where is he at?
Yeah, so you can contact me. I have my cell phone number always readily available, 239-877-2222. Or you can find me on Facebook. I'm readily accessible on there. It's under my name, Tyler Bolden, TYLER BOLDEN.
And what location you at selling vehicles?
Right now I'm at Galliana, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on 41. You may be familiar with it.
Yeah, it's a big time place over there. You got about 6 different dealerships just lined up on that lot, right?
Yeah, we have, at my particular dealership, you have Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Then next door you have Alfa Romeo, Maserati. And then not across the street, on the other side, you have Kia. So we got a wide variety for, different walks of life customers.
What other businesses do you have right now or anything that you're going on, that's going on in Tyler's life?
So on the side, me, my father, Troy Bolden, and my uncle.
Yeah, this fire right here, guys.
Alfonso Bolden. The 2 brothers out of Louisiana, where I'm from originally. And right now they have a seasoning company called Cajun Nation. And right now what we're trying to do is take a step in the right direction in the black community. My uncle and my dad, just from the smallest town, Glencoe, Louisiana.
Shout out to Louisiana, man.
Yeah, shout out to Louisiana.
All the good food and everything.
All the good seasoning. But as you know, right now with my uncles and them, they've been hustlers all my life, and that's kind of where I learned my craft and my my drive and my hustle is from them. And with Cajun Nation, we're trying to basically cure one of the things that black people suffer from the most, which is hypertension, as we discussed earlier.
Absolutely.
And just have a healthier option when it comes to, cooking and seasoning and just still enjoying the old woes that we used to have, is cooking with people, family, but do it in a safer way, one that promotes the community and doesn't profit from it in a negative way.
So with the seasoning, we, as African-American culture, we always believe that we need to load the food up with this seasoning, right? And I recently suffer from hypertension, high blood pressure, which I had to take some medication, and I hated every bit of it. And I kind of took myself off of it, but started just working out again, training and things like that. But we always think that we need this seasoning, and this is the biggest thing that we talk about when we talk about other cultures' food and things like that. So this seasoning, what's different than Lori's, and all this other stuff that we use?
So, before I got in the car business, I was a chef. I used to cook a lot in New Orleans, and
You used to eat a lot too,
huh?
huh? Go ahead.
You funny. Nah. So, what's different is mostly one, it is owned by the people that are on the front lines. But the biggest thing is no MSG and low sodium. So those are the two pros of it. And just the community behind it. It's big community driven, and they believe in the product, and 100% black owned. So the main difference is that we care about the people we're serving it to.
Got you. So I want to jump back into your uncles and you growing up and things like that, because that's what the show is about your path, about, what have you done to get to the success that you have right now. But my people had some questions for a car salesman.
All right, go ahead. Shoot.
All right.
Fire at me. Let's see what they got.
First of all, I was in the industry also, and before we jump in there, let's talk about how we met. I was at a certain location, a dealership. I'm eager. I'm so just going to get it. I'm taking every customer. I'm in this thing trying to just win, right? Because it's a new industry for me. I'm just trying to learn the business. And you got some seasoned vets in there, but when you're so young and you're a rookie, and you can, once you find out that you can do the job, you just you got blinders on and you just go through it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing my thing. I got a customer. The customer didn't say anything about anyone else, working with anyone else. So I'm excited. She's ready to purchase a vehicle. And I think Tyler, you walked past or something. And she's like, oh, yeah, I work with him. And I'm like, so why you didn't say this? This is the conversation me and her having. Like, why you didn't say this? Like, I can have him come back over here. You guys can, work together. Because it's just I want a type of guy that, in the car industry, you have people that's kind of like thoroughbred and they really kind of grimy, I guess. So anyway, I'm talking to this young lady. She's ready to go. And my boy Tyler over here.
Tell him the story, Bernard. Tell him your version.
Tell him my version.
There's two sides to the story. Well, three.
You came over there. I got upset. I was pissed. And then I went over there like, yo, you know where I'm from, cuz? No, I didn't say that. But I was upset. Like, dog, don't come over there and disrespect me. Don't do this. Don't do that.
In Bernard's words, that's kind of what happened. From my side of the story, I felt like, I've been in the business a while, and there's certain rules that, us as salesperson, we follow. But
right.
I forgot that you were what we call a green pea in the business, which is, somebody fresh in the business that, they've got that enthusiasm, as I would call it, They hungry. And I like that, I like to drive, and, I can be hot-headed myself, so, Bernard told me where he was from, and I told him where I was from, which was irrelevant, but
both was definitely irrelevant. But the crazy thing about it was we never had another situation that I can think of, or did we?
Nah. I think it was respect on both ends. I think it was a situation that just wasn't that big, or just a misunderstanding, miscommunication.
That's all. But it shows you that, and I think you handle it very well. I mean, you got upset because, that's money. You got to feed your family. But at the same time, I think you handled it very well because, like you just said, it's a new person. They so eager. They don't know the rules and things like that. Even though, I'm up in age, when I was there, I didn't know what the hell I was doing in the car business. But I succeeded and I pushed forward. But I think when you have an individual that know how to deal with situations that is mature in his field, I think you win a lot of friends, and you also win a lot of business. You don't win. You don't criticize 100%. People. You don't turn those young kids down. You just know how to handle them in a different situation. What's your thoughts on that?
I think in the car business, it's eat or be eaten, and it turns a boy into a man if you can survive, and it teaches you, to me, the primal aspects. If I don't sell, I don't eat. My family don't eat. My son don't eat. My daughter don't eat. So I think it teaches you how to deal with people. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't know how to deal with people, and I do it on a day-to-day basis. So I feel like At the end of the day, I saw a lot of me and you when I was young, when I was first in the business. I was hungry. I was brash and, so many words. So I kind of, once I snapped back, I was like, it's a dude that's just trying to get it like me, and I got to respect the hustle.
So car industry, is there, when I was around, it was a chip shortage. Is there still a chip shortage?
No, yes and no. I mean, right now we're going through a lot of logistical things. The chip shortage was a problem. Now you have inventory issues. You have a higher demand with a low supply. You have transportation issues. A lot of the drivers, they can't get drivers. It's just they're trying their best, but right now with the demand, as soon as we get a little influx or a little injection of vehicles, they're gone.
So when we talking about inventory and we talking about, let's bring up the hurricane, water damage, how did that impact you guys in the industry, I guess?
Well, what it did was it created almost like a demand nobody expected. Once you go through a hurricane, I've been through one with Katrina. With this hurricane, it was a little different because it was unexpected. Most people, Florida, nobody really expected it to hit it the way it did. And I think it caught a lot of people by surprise. And in the industry, we thought we were going to be non-existent business-wise, and it was the complete opposite. We couldn't get a breather.
So the hurricane hit, damaged everything, and you guys, people were coming to buying cars.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't damage us. And like Fort Myers Beach was, damaged, and surrounding areas, Naples. But our building was pretty good. I mean, I think we had damage to a warehouse and some vehicles were lost, but most of our vehicles, not a touch of water, a little bit of damage here and there, but we took care of it with the insurance and it's good to go.
The process of buying a vehicle is kind of frustrating. It's a long process. And then if you get a salesman that you feel like you're not coping with and you haven't built any type of relationship within those hours or whatever, people tend to not want to do it and they have a bad thought process with it. How do you win your cut? Because I done seen your paychecks. I done seen the money coming in. So that means that you selling something. You're doing something good. You're getting customers. What are some qualities that you have that makes the customer want to work with you?
I look at myself when it comes to that, and I know how it is to be on the opposite end of that. As the customer, and the main thing is you make a friend. That's what I was taught when I was in the industry. You make a friend, be personable, be open, don't, as they say, sell from your own pocket. You just want to hear the customer. If you let somebody talk long enough, they'll tell you how to sell them. And when you connect with somebody and you build rapport and y'all can just talk normal things, selling a car is easy. The experience is in the hands of both people. And the salesman is very responsible for making it a clean, streamless process and to kind of overcome those obstacles that people mentally have in their mind when it comes to dealing with a car business, and people dread it. We know.
Absolutely.
We know.
Take me back to Louisiana.
New Orleans, born and raised, 1991.
You Lil Boosie nephew, ain't you?
Lil Boosie from Baton Rouge, not New Orleans, but it's close enough. It's about a 45-minute drive, but totally different. I mean, New Orleans is a different city. It's a city built on culture. It's built on history. It's built on a lot of things that shape me for the person I am. And I love that city to death. But I've been in Florida for 10 years now. It's
You're a Floridian.
No, I'm from New Orleans, but I love Florida. It's my second home. Where I had my son. So
ethnicity. What is your nationality?
Mainly, I guess you could say, African American and Italian. Sicilian. My mom's side, pure Sicilian, and my dad's side, they're from Glencoe, Louisiana. Very small town, mostly 99% black.
Born and raised with both parents in the house?
Up until a certain age, and my parents they got divorced around when I was 11 or 12 years old. So,
siblings?
I have. Let me think about this. I got 2 brothers on my mom's side, and I got a lot of I call them stepsisters, stepbrothers. People I grew up with because I've known them all my life. I'm 31, and I've known them since I was 11. So we all family.
How's the relationship? How, you know?
Me and my dad have a close relationship. My stepmom, a close relationship. My mom, my stepmom, my stepdad. We're all pretty tight. We talk all the time. My sister, she's up in school up north. I talk to my brothers all the time. I mean, we're pretty close given the circumstances. So we all live in our own lives, but still connect when we need to.
It seems like you grew up around some very influential male role models.
Yeah, I mean, from my dad to my uncle to even my stepdad, he's the one that got me in the car business. When I was just cooking at Lobster Lady in Cape Coral, making $10, $11 and wondering how I could make more because this just wasn't enough back then.
How important is that to have positive role models, and especially male? Because when you look at the school system, you wonder what's going on in the school system, why these kids so this and so that. But when you look at the school system, you don't have people that look like me in there. And I've been in that in those buildings before. And I honestly, just from my opinion, my perspective, that, they don't protect individuals that look like me, that's authoritative like myself, and they don't last. And no, you don't have them. You don't have them in a facility. And those that you do and that actually stay, everyone loves them. The kids respect them, all the above. So how important is that to have those individuals growing up?
I think when it comes to having an individual one that comes from what you experience, especially being people of color, we have certain obstacles or certain things that we struggle with that only somebody that comes from that walk of life could tell us how to navigate, especially being young men. I think decisions we make, especially when we're young, having role models is what keeps us out of certain situations that we normally would probably handle the wrong way. I mean, having a stepdad and a dad in my life that taught me a lot, it kept me focused. It kept me, out of situations where I probably wouldn't be here talking to you today.
And it's very important too, because you spoke about your mom. I mean, just the love of your mom, and being around her. What has she, put in you that made you the man that you are today?
Well, your mom is a boy's first love, and your mom teaches you about love, compassion. She teaches you just to love yourself, self-love, self-worth, and that's probably going to be your best friend no matter what, and having a good relationship with your mom builds the foundation to how you interact with women in the future.
Speaking of women, I mean, where your mom from?
My mom is originally from Framingham, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. I was going to talk about the down south women, because when you have that southern hospitality and respect that these women that I guess they used to have, but now it's kind of, we were just talking about, the surgeries that's going on, and they not thinking about their future, far as being old women. You're going to be old one day. So speak about the women back in the day compared to now, man.
Bernard setting me up. So the women in the, I think it's tied into just society in general, and a lot of women these days they have a different path. I mean, women of old, back in the day, more traditional as they call it, and a lot of women these days, they're more competitive. They're trying to be their own person these days and get outside of the box of a housewife and then just these labels that they've had for, however long. But I just think nowadays, the BBLs and whatever they call it these days, I mean, I think it's
the extra baggage.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own. I don't judge, but, a lot of them, they're just trying to find themselves. And I think, sometimes they feel like that's the answer, even though it does have long-lasting repercussions down the line. I think they're living in the here and now and not really focused on the future.
I mean, we can talk about the certain things as far as like what they're doing to their bodies. And, I don't discriminate at all. But just the mindset, the mentality. I always spoke, my last people that I had on the show, we spoke about building together. And it's a partnership.
Well, these days, a lot of people are in it for themselves. They don't see the bigger
They're in the
picture.
relationship for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is the truth. I mean, not the truth, but just more so the subjective truth that people have been told is instead of build together, build alone. That way, at the end of the day, you all you got. And it kind of defeats the purpose of, you hear the word independent, 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 but a lot of people don't focus on codependence. I mean, interdependency, as they say, where I am an independent person, but I also rely on my partner for certain things I may fall short as, or things I need to learn, because that's what my partner is there for, to teach me, to guide me in things I may not be good at, and me do to her as well, and a lot of people, they have a lot of trauma that they've dealt with that they haven't,
That's key.
addressed, and they push down, and they go in life and just try to make it on their own, and in society, we need each other. That's how we make connections. That's how, if I was in the car business and I was just in it for myself, I wouldn't have gotten far, where I can learn from different people. I can learn from customers, learn from my mistakes. And I'm interdependent when it comes to that, but I'm also a very independent person. And you got to play both fields, correctly.
As a male in a relationship, being independent and like you say, not just independent, but you're focused on your goals and you focus on building this relationship and generational wealth and all the above. And the female is really not doing anything. I mean, does that put a toll on that male?
I mean, it all depends on the dynamic of the relationship. I mean, at some point, you got to take accountability because you chose that female, and if you're doing everything, she may be doing something different, but doesn't mean she's not doing anything.
Right.
I just think it depends on the dynamics, because I know some relationships where the female runs the household. Mm-hmm. The female does the business, and the man, he sits back and he plays a supportive role. And, I just think it's harder these days to differentiate what's the right way, because it just comes down to what works best for you and your relationship.
I agree because everyone is not the same. Every relationship is not built the same.
Correct.
And it's no one fix all,
Right. And that's why a lot of people, they need to work on themselves and be the best person you are as a person. That way you can attract the best person for you, because you can't get what you're not given.
How do we bring about the big topic that's going on right now with mental health and get people to actually buy into it and actually get that help so these relationships can last and build? And
I think the one word, especially in the Black community and other people of color, is therapy. I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to talk to a therapist because they look at it as being weak, and me personally, I think a lot of people struggle with mental health and struggle with mental awareness because they don't want to come to the certain facts that something might be wrong with them, because they think it is, oh, well, I'm defective, I'm not, good. But in life, you should always want to get better and grow and transform and learn from the things that makes you imperfect. We're all imperfect, but I think we just need more awareness on mental health, especially in men, because, men have some of the highest suicide rate.
Absolutely.
And then society has taught a lot of men to not worry about your feelings. Be a man, but that's, it's kind of toxic.
I see you traveling, going places.
Yeah.
How important is that to be able to do that?
I think a lot of people are scared to get out of their own circle. And to experience the world is to experience life, especially I just went to Honduras, and beautiful country, and it changes your mindset, especially being from America. If you've ever been outside the country, it's different. Mm-hmm. And I think you should learn about other aspects of life, because when you have conversations, you don't want to, sound like, oh, well, all I know is America. All I know is, Detroit or New Orleans. I mean, outside of that, you got to have life experiences. How is she going to grow?
What's the difference over there?
Just honestly, it's just a way of life. I mean, they're more family oriented. They're more cultural as far as very vibrant. And they make a lot out of we have a lot more in America. Out there, they don't have much, but they make the best of it. And community wise, they're very put together. They're very in tune.
I've always noticed that when you look at different cultures and different countries, the food, right?
The food was amazing.
But they eat a ton of food and they still stay, I wouldn't say in shape, but they're not obese. They're not, Mm-hmm. And we go back to your uncles in the business, the seasoning business, how you say it?
Cajun Nation.
Cajun Nation. when we talk about the business, and we can eat, Americans eat a hamburger and some fries, and you obese the next 2 days, like, or over the weekend. Is it a difference how they cooking food, what they putting in there, how they growing it? What?
From what I gathered, I was there for about 2 weeks.
Was that your first time?
That was my very first time, and it's natural. It's right out the backyard. A lot of the ingredients they use, they're homegrown. They're grown in the fields.
Grab the chicken from the front yard and like.
I mean, I don't know the process, Bernard, in which they prepare the food, but I know I ate a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I cut weight. And I was eating steak, chicken, rice, beans, and it just tastes different. It's more, you could just feel it's natural. It hits your body different. Your body consumes it different. Here, you go to Wingstop, the next day, man, it's over for you.
You have a heart attack the next day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Out here, we're eating a lot of nothing. We're eating a lot of fillers, a lot of stuff that's just not good for you, and the rising cost of food, people are going to turn to those things more and more.
Where can we get this Cajun seasoning?
So the Cajun Nation seasoning, you can go to Cajun, not hyphen, it's the little line thing, nation.com.
What's the little line thing? Dash?
Whatever it's called. You'll figure it out when you put it in. We're on Amazon. We're in a bunch of stores in Louisiana, primarily Rouse's. We're also partnered up with LSU, go Tigers. But mainly online, and in stores in Louisiana and H-E-B in Texas. I don't know if you're familiar with that, grocery store, but it's like Publix out there.
What is it?
H-E-B. It's in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
You been to Texas before?
Yeah, I've been to San Antonio. I've been to Houston. Yeah.
It's booming out there. Houston.
Yeah. You can find a house out there for cheap. You know that. Not in Florida, though.
If you're looking for a house, hit me up, all right? But no, back to Louisiana, man. Okay. What the environment, the experience growing up there, like you say, a lot of culture, a lot of history and those things. Give us an experience. Like, tell us.
Well, just to give you an idea, the high school I went to, St. Augustine High School, is a very famous high
big
school.
Time, like football program.
Football, basketball, baseball, track and field, even the band, the Marching 100. We were one of the first schools
to play the clarinet, right?
I played the trumpet, Bernard.
Okay,
but
my bad.
I didn't play for the band at. I didn't play for the band at St. I was mostly academics. I was focused on school, man, and I was just focused on having fun. But it's majority black. Up until recent, they had a couple of years ago. We used to have the corporal punishment. They paddle you. When I went there, they don't do it no more. They changed their mind.
It's legal here though in Florida, right?
I don't know about Florida schools. I haven't seen a paddle yet, but
are you saying they need it?
I think it builds structure, but I think it's also outdated in the political climate we're in now. It'd be considered child abuse probably. So I don't know about that. But the high school I went to, it shaped me because it was more military style. Shirt, tie, dress slacks got to be ironed. Your shoes have to be shined and not dirty. And it keeps almost like a way of just organizing yourself day in, day out, learning your academics. It was all boys, mostly black. But they played one of the first interracial basketball games. They made a movie of it called Passing Glory, where they played, I believe it was Brother Martin, in the first black-on-white game. Back then you didn't really do those things, and it was in secret. And we beat them by like 50 points. In the movie, they made it like it was, It
was a close game.
Yeah, it was a close game,
Drama.
but they got dragged in that game. But yeah, that shaped me. And just learning. If I had not been in that school, because the public schools out there, they tend to not give you the best chance at life, So my daddy put me in Catholic school all my life, and tried to give me the best chance, at this thing called life. Most dads don't do,
Yeah. Anything else you would like to discuss?
No, I think we covered a lot of it.
How you feel, man?
I feel great, brother. One of our conversations that we always have,
Always have. We always just get together, whether it's on top of the garage. Man.
You got to talk to people. You gotta, rack their brains, so to speak. That way, where you at in life and gain knowledge and build partnerships. That's what life's about. Growing and moving. It's
about that. It's about, like you say, connecting. It's about talking about certain things that's going to build you up. Because the crazy thing about it is, we kind of all going through the same thing.
Exactly, and that's why we need to talk to each other.
Just a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Different parts and pieces, but actuality is all the same thing.
Exactly, and that's like I said, that's why we got to talk to each other and communicate. Communication is key, especially in life. That's how we get paid.
Ty, I appreciate you coming in, man. It was a quick one. It's usually, we looking at the time and stuff like that, but this time it just went by so fast. I love to have you back on. Again, I appreciate you coming in, and thank you very much, man.
Appreciate you having me, brother. It's always good.
I am the Faithful Community Realtor, and this is The Path. Add me on social media at Bernard.Faithful on all social media platforms. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. May you continue to have favor, grace, and mercy. I'll check you later.